Hey everybody here, it's Demiheals again, and we've got another Transformers review on our hands. Today, I know I still haven't looked at anything too terribly recent, but a lot of this stuff is stuff that I've had for a while and I've been wanting to do reviews on. So sorry for no recent stuff, but I will be getting to that starting the next review. But today, we're looking at the Titans Return Voyager class BLITZWING figure. I have him starting here in tank mode, but we are going to look at all three modes. The tank mode, to start out on this guy, looks great from the front, at least, a little bit. This is honestly a pretty nice looking tank, all things considered, compared to some of the basic age tanks we've seen, where it's literally just a robot with their arms facing up and their legs facing down. So having an actual solid body tank looks nice. From the underside, it's kind of obvious that, oh, you just squished a person down. But at least from the top side, it looks quite nice. Though the back is kind of obviously, hey, look, there's a jet in there. For weapon storage of his two robot weapons, one of his blasters fits kind of nice over top of the tank barrel, or you can take that off if you want a bit smaller of a turret. And then his sword for the robot mode can peg on to the side. That's where I usually keep it, or I'll just take it off completely. But this vehicle mode altogether, not too terribly impressive. In terms of any mobility or any articulation, sorry, I'm tripping over my words, any articulation on this guy is really just rotating the turret of the tank. But enough looking at a stationary brick, let's turn it into a brick with wings. So to start, we're going to go ahead and take his Titan Master, who is Decepticon Hazard. Basic Titan Master looking. He looks quite nice though, he's got some little Blitzwing-ish details. But we're going to set him off to the side for a second. And to get him into jet mode, close up the turret, I'm going to pop it open, fold out the wings all the way. So fold out again on those wings. We're going to untab these side sections of the tank, fold those in half under the wings, and do that on both sides. Then we're going to fold these, what will become the tail fins, out. We are going to untab these entire sections from the nose cone and swing those around and peg them into the robot legs. And again, untabbing that, swinging it around, bringing that in. We're going to take the robot chest plate and fold it up so that it's right up against the legs. Untabbing the turret again because it got retabbed. We're going to fold around the nose cone and open it up. And alongside folding out the actual nose of the plane, we're going to take Hazard, sit him down inside the plane, and close that up. Make sure the turret's facing forward, and we have his jet mode. His jet mode is definitely a lot nicer, in my opinion, than his tank mode, at least seen from above. The underside, it's kind of obviously you folded up a tank underneath, but when you're looking at it from even dead on, it can look like, oh, it's just a missile under the plane or something. For weapon storage, I like plugging his weapons onto his fist holes on the sides to cover those up. And then in terms of showing him in flight, because he is a jet after all, if we take one of our handy-dandy stands, this is one of the ones like I used in the Trigger Happy video, there is a little hole on the turret of the tank mode that can be used to store him in jet mode, though it is a little front heavy with the way that that's positioned. But it does create a pretty nice looking flying mode. In terms of any posability for the jet, not really anything. Again, the turret does move, so you can point the gun out to the side if you want to or anything like that. But the wings, there's no folding wingtips. Any folding or anything of the plane is just transformation stuff. So to get him into robot mode, let's go ahead and take Hazard out of the cockpit, fold up the nose cone, and bring that back in. Then let's untab the turret, fold that nose cone back around, taking off his weapons because they fell off. Let's go ahead and swing those wings around, and that way we can bring up his chest plate. On the back, we're going to bring the turret up and peg it in onto the back so it's higher up. Then, for the arms, untab like you're going to fold them back out, then take this whole tan section, fold it up and back down, squish it on, and fold the tread back to make the upper arm section. Then twist the lower arm and fold the end of the tank up in the back. Sadly, a little bit of kibble there, but hey, what can you do? Folding the wings back to make a little more room, we're going to take care of the other arm real fast, which is that same process. Then, we're going to take the wingtips, fold them up, push them up so that they're just sitting snug on the sides. Take the sides, or these little flaps, and after separating the legs, you can accordion out the legs themselves, and if you push them far enough, they don't exactly click in, but they do tab in. Then fully unfold each side and flip out the foot before closing it back up. So again, folding this open, accordion out the leg, push it so it connects, flip out the foot, and fold this back up, and he does have heels, surprisingly. Then, just a couple things left to do before we have the full robot mode together, and that is getting his head ready, which is pretty simple for a Titan Master. You fold him up, and he makes a head. Then, after you plug his head in, which is just in that hole up there, plugging that in, if you open his chest plate, there's a little tab here you can fold, and that folds up those little guards on the side of his head that they seem to really like putting on Voyager figures. So, getting him armed back up with his gun that can fit a Titan Master in it, and his sword that is much more conveniently Blitzwing, we're left with the Voyager-class Blitzwing himself. And Blitzwing looks really nice in his robot mode. It's clear from the barrel chest as well as the arm style that this is built first and foremost to kind of be both him and Megatron for the line, just like how the Octane figure, or Octone, whatever they called him in the line, was meant to be an Optimus figure and a figure for Octane. But in terms of Blitzwing taking this form on, he takes it on with flying colors. It looks amazing, in my opinion. Though, then again, I'm impressed by pretty simple stuff anyways. So, in terms of Blitzwing's posability, he has a pretty decent about. He has a ball joint at the head, though the side bits do get in the way. You don't have to fold those up. You can just leave it with his head able to swivel around freely. I usually do that, but sometimes I like the look of the purple. And in particular, right now, I'm liking how it looks with the light. Again, his wings, they do fold back or fold out. I like to keep them bent at the first joint, folded out, because I like the way that looks in the back. But it does get in the way of his arm movement, which his arms are on a rotation, and they move out. There is a swivel at the top of the elbow, as well as a slight bend out at the elbow, though that's more for transformation. There is a basic elbow bend there, nice simple joint. No wrist articulation, which is kind of sad, but hey, what can you do? No waist articulation in the slightest. This is all just one solid brick with a bunch of hinges to fold things out or up. For hips, they can move forward pretty far. Sorry for showing that weird knee. They move back pretty stinking far too. If it wasn't for the kibble in the back, they'd go even further. Then, in terms of being able to do the splits, he can do a full split and a little bit over, but not too much. He has a rotation at the thigh, though it is a little tight from not being used. There is a knee bend, which does bend to a full 90, but also bends up a little bit from how it's built. Not much that can be done there, but hey, maybe you need that for a pose. Then, the rest of his foot, he does have a toe bend, but that's, again, more for transformation and doesn't really help too much. Though his feet are built at a slight pivot, or a slight angle, so he naturally has a open stance. Which, all in all, this figure, it's definitely not the best that I've seen, especially from the Generations line, looking at some of the future stuff. But it's a great figure, and I loved it when I picked it up. I'm going to be honest, I picked this guy up on a trip to Disneyland, and it was one of my favorite souvenirs from that trip, which, getting a Transformer on a Disneyland trip was weird, but hey, what can you do? So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're excited to stick around for more. I will be trying to get these out weekly, though there may be more or less depending on what my schedule permits. I may end up posting more, I may end up posting less. Really, I don't know. But I do hope you'll stick around regardless of what happens. And of course, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.